Let resolution be your solution.
So, you may be wondering, after over 70 videos, what's the purpose of this channel? How did it come about? Why do we do it? Well, the truth is my brother and I made this channel remotely using WhatsApp and different communication methods during lockdown in 2020. We've continued to do it because at that time we wanted a way to increase our own morale, to collaborate, to do something useful during a very challenging time. And so we created the channel. Now, at that time, certain radio channels were around and they never seemed to resolve problems, but just highlight them and sell advertising on the back of them. Now, I understand that, and I think it's useful for a lot of people to explore topics. Myself, I particularly enjoy the callers that ring in more than the presenters, usually. But there is one exception to that particularly, and that's Nick Abbott of LBC. Now, Nick Abbott still maintained his humorous shows that he does on a Friday and a Saturday evening, 10 o'clock till 1. And those programmes, which I'd been listening to for quite a while before, really were a highlight of the week. I know it may sound pathetic to many people, but there wasn't a lot going on. There wasn't a lot of social life then during that period, and it was tough. Now, so that inspired me to invent a fictitious radio station and explore the idea of a cast of characters who would telephone that radio station and a cast of presenters. Now, originally, the humorous name of Mike Stand came up. I suggested it. My brother, who helps doing all the internet stuff and all the imagery that you see. I say helps, if it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be any. And I do all the character voices. Now, you'll understand that my standard accent, as you're hearing it now, is Yorkshire, West Yorkshire. And so I have gradually added characters to the list of characters that we do, including Francisco Cumulonimbus, the weatherman. We have no idea where he comes from, but it's somewhere else. We have Mark Stern himself. I've got William, who rings on a regular basis to talk about anything from the Edinburgh, the bridge, oh yes, the weather, and anything that crosses his mind. Oh, and we've got Fred, who talks about his dog and all that kind of thing, and has a different way of speaking because he's from perhaps Lancashire, and so on. So these accents that I do for my friends, I've done comedically, hopefully, for a very, very long time, decided to weave them in. So even the dog that barks is me. Doing an impersonation. There's even a cat that in one of the videos, that's also me. So the sort of conceit, if you like, of the radio broadcasts, the fictitious radio broadcasts, is the idea of using my voice to embody all the individual voices that you hear. So to go full circle, I rang the Nick Abbott programme. It took me a while to think of something unusual and unique, an aspect of a story. I mean, they all get covered all during the day on the programmes. It took me a while to come up with a unique question or observation or point, because I wanted it to be something different. And I also hoped to have a banter. Now, Nick plays sound effects on his programme. He calls himself a guy who plays cow noises on the radio. Well, he's more than that. He's a clever fella. And he's been in broadcasting and radio literally for decades. Virgin Radio, etc. And so I thought, right, I'll finally, something crossed my mind. Okay, it's not a major point. It's not earth-shattering. It's not, something to be super proud of. But I thought it was worthwhile. Well, I got through to his producer, and the producer says, yes, that's an aspect, an element that we haven't covered. I'll try and get you on. So it's time limited and what have you. And I got on, and I had a banter with Nick, and the ultimate accolade, I made a joke about, because he'd said that weather forecast had said that we were unlikely to get a white Christmas at the beginning of his programme. So I brought this back up and I said, it's your fault. And he played one of his sound effects, the I'm sorry sound. I'm sorry, you don't know how sorry I am. Now, when he plays one of his sound effects, that's effectively him having a banter with the caller. So even though my call wasn't earth-shattering, as I say, it was satisfying because I spoke to him, I got my point across, and he played one of his sound effects. Now, we've decided to use this clip as a way of telling you, the very few people that follow and that watch what we do, why we do what we do, to hope that it further enhances your enjoyment. You may be a bit confused as to what it's all about. Well, now you know. So, thank you for calling Resolution Radio 2020. Thank you for your call. Well, in this case, thank you for your support. And thank you to my brother for everything that he does to make it work. Keep smiling.
Huddersfield. Hello, David.
Hello there, Nick. Now then, I've been cogitating on our Prime Minister, the risky WhatsApp.
I am so sorry to hear that.
It's not comfortable, you know yourself. This is to do with the fact of his phone. Now, question, is that phone his? Is it his work phone? Therefore, is it ours? And the data that's on it, is that his? Or because it's decision-making at a governmental level, is it ours? If it's ours, yeah. If it's ours, there's a data protection issue with the fact that he's lost it, misplaced it. So it could be malfeasance in public office. Well, if it's our data.
Yeah, it is our data. Of course it's our data. If he's doing government business on a phone of any kind, then we should know all about it. Records should be kept and maintained in perpetuity.
In perpetuity, or even at our disposal when we want to see it. Because I don't know where this place is perpetuity. I've never been.
No, me either.
But he might end up there.
It sounds fabulous.
So I'm just thinking, there's more to this than meets the eye, but most people don't seem to be picking up on it.
Well, what people aren't picking up on is, as far as I'm aware, he threatened to sue to prevent his WhatsApp messages being released, while presumably convinced that those WhatsApp messages did still exist. And now he's saying that they don't. So which is it?
Well, don't forget he's got memory issues.
Well, that is
true. You're thinking who has, aren't you?
I think there's somebody who has so many lapses in his memory should perhaps see a medical professional and stop driving or heavy machinery, as in this country.
Indeed, or misdirecting it, because he's going to drive it into a ditch, isn't he, if he's not careful?
Going to... David,
we're
in the ditch and we're looking at the stars.
And we're not even getting a white Christmas to look forward to, Nick.
I'm afraid not, no. It's going to be mild and wet.
But to be fair, I do blame you for that, because you do the weather report.
That is true, yeah. It is all my fault, and I apologise.
I am very sorry that I screwed up.
Totally screwed up.
I mean, I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am. I'm sorry.
He's sorry. All right, thanks a lot, David. No snow. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Way back in time with the Bob Newhart show, where he spent time as I can't remember whether he was a small town TV presenter or radio presenter, but these shows, where people phone in and there's some sort of whimsy that's associated with them calling in. So the idea has been, as I say, to counteract the malaise that's been sweeping the world since perhaps Brexit, COVID, and the political situation that we find ourselves in, and the financial situation that we're all in. So I hope you've enjoyed it so far. We do intend to carry on. It would be nice if we got some likes and some feedback, some comments, and maybe even you shared one or two of our videos. We are going to carry on as long as we can think of new things to say.
I was just thinking of asking you one question, like.
Well, what's that?
How tall are you?
5 feet 11.
How tall is this Nick Abbott guy?
In all honesty, I'm not sure.
I think I'm going to have to look into that.
Thank you very much, Ron. I hope you enjoy what we do. If you like this channel, like and subscribe our page. Share it with your friends. If you understand the underlying message here, which is about entertainment and fun, keep smiling, then continue to stay with us. I look forward to interacting with you in the future.